Hello there. This is Renee Beth Poindexter, founder of Living the Potential Network. And today I have the great pleasure of speaking with Isabella Britton. Isabella, I'm so grateful that you're with us today. And I'd love to just start off with asking you, tell people a little bit about who you are, where you live, and a little bit about your learning journey so far.
Yeah, well, I want to thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. And yeah, so I guess I'm a senior in La Crosse, Wisconsin. I my learning journey has been very interesting. I started out in an immersion school where I learned Spanish. So my approach to learning has always been very different than the average approach to, let's say, my peers who I now go to school with. Um, and then in middle school, I started out middle school in the same immersion program and then went to a charter school, actually, the same charter school that Cassie Funmaker went to, called the School of Technology and the Arts, where I really got to take it, my own approach on my learning and start doing projects and kind of figuring out what exactly I'm passionate about and then taking my learning a step further to match those passions. So I think that's really where my leadership skills started, was in that school. And now I go to Central High School, where I started Indigenous Peoples Club because I realized there was nowhere for me to fit into my school. So I created my own space, and I hoped that other people would help join that space. And then I also was just elected vice president of the Fem Club at my school. So it's the Feminist Equity Movement, and I've been a part of that for 4 years now. And so that's kind of close to Indigenous Peoples Club, but we try to make the school a better place for everybody. And yeah, I guess that's
That's
me.
amazing. So you feel like the school that you went to that really helped you integrate technology and the arts allowed you to find your voice of who are you, like in the driver's seat of your own learning, living experience. And from that space, you've been able to put energy towards the things that you care most about. Now, what is the interest about, starting a club, the Indigenous Peoples Club? Where did that idea come from?
Well, I was talking to actually my mom, and I was like thinking like, oh, what should I do in school? Like, how can I get more involved? Because I was already a part of the Fem Club, but I wasn't really involved in much else. And I was like, well, I could join. There were other groups for other like ethnicities of students, but there was nothing for Indigenous people. And I was like, well, why not? Like, we're here too. Like, we need to be recognized. So I was just like, well, I might as well just start one. I mean,
Right, exactly.
yeah.
So you, in a way, you're owning your heritage. So tell us a little bit about that. I know there's this your ancestry bringing forward into leadership in the 21st century by starting this Indigenous Peoples Club. So, what is your heritage?
Yeah, so I'm Lakudere Ojibwe, um, from my mom's side. And so my whole life, we've been trying to integrate parts of our culture into our family and kind of our livelihood. So I guess just bringing that out was just something I've always done. And I was like, well, other people can now see it too. I mean, I'm also Norwegian and German. So we also try to integrate the other parts of my heritage. So we're like kind of one big mixing pot in our family, but it's just purely us. And so I like to bring like the mixing pot of cultures together in my clubs because that's what I've grown up with my whole life.
Exactly. Well, I think that's what's needed today. It's like the celebration of diversity as we are more of a global humanity. I mean, with all this technology and so forth, seems to make sense that we're better connected and understand our stories. So, what are you working on now? I mean, you're in between your junior and your senior year, going into your senior year. Is there something specific related to both of these projects you've just mentioned, or is there something else that you would like to share about what's important to you, what you're passionate about right now?
Yeah, well, so I guess I'm working on kind of two different things right now. So my Indigenous Peoples Club, where a bunch of our members have graduated, and so we're kind of in a in between place right now, trying to figure out what we want to do next year because we only have a year left with this club, and all of us have been cultivating this culture around the school and this club So we're trying to figure out how to proceed. So right now we're trying to combine a bunch of our clubs in our school, because all of my friends and I are like the presidents and founders of these clubs. And so we want to combine them to make a more intersectional school. So yeah, right now we're just trying to work on logistics of that and how everything pieces together, like how Indigenous culture and the environmental club can work together on projects, and how Fem Club and Indigenous Peoples Club can work together on other projects, and how we all can just build a stronger community in our school. And then with that, I'm starting to look at sustainability with the environmental club, because we were shopping for snacks for our club and we're like, oh, this isn't a very sustainable, like chip bags, you just throw them away. So we're trying to work on like bringing out ideas in our community of being more sustainable, and kind of the history of sustainability in Indigenous cultures.
That's beautiful. I think that's a really interesting cross-pollination of Indigenous wisdom with what's needed for climate change that supports a stronger world, which brings in what I hear in you, a little entrepreneurship, like what could we create that would make, people healthier and also align with the planet in a more sustainable way. So that's beautiful. Let me ask you, I'm so grateful to have you, busy woman that you are, and just now being vice president of the Fem, Feminist Equity Club.
Yeah.
Could you say a little bit about what that is about? Because I think there's a lot of women and girls who are going, okay, we're leaders too. Is that part what the club's about?
Yeah. So when the club was founded, I don't know how long ago exactly, but it was kind of, our school district is full of old white men. And so trying to create this empowering space for women, and not even just women, just people, like we accept everybody. We're trying to be very intersectional, because people hear Fem Club and they think, oh, it's only for women. No, everybody's involved, but we're focused on empowering people that aren't old white men, because they already hold all the power. So we're trying to push back in the system of, it's like a good old boys club, like all the white men just kind of rise to these positions of power. So we're trying to push back against that. And we've created a really powerful movement in the school, because people know what Fem Club is, and we sell t-shirts every year and people show their support. And so, yeah, we're just trying to make our school more intersectional and let everybody have a voice and everybody show their power.
So in alignment with living the potential, which brings me to my last question for you is, what was it that made you say yes to want to become a part of living the potential leadership on our youth advisory council? You went through a process, you interviewed, you were, highly recommended, and then unanimously supported to join our youth advisory council. What made you say yes to begin with, and how will it serve you?
Yeah, well, I really like your motto of everybody learning from each other, because I think every individual person has such a powerful voice and such unique experiences that you can learn just the smallest of things from everybody. And I really like how you have mentors that are teaching younger people, and then the younger people learning from the younger people, and then the mentors learning from everybody. I find that so powerful. And I also like that it's like a nationwide thing, because like I have support in my community, but I want to branch out and kind of see what other people are doing around the nation. And I think that's why I said yes, because you just have such a powerful group of people and such a radiant energy that I just want to be a part of. So
That's great. Well, this you're the energy that you bring is the whole reason I thought, well, let's create a space for intergenerational wisdom to come forward, because I feel that wisdom knows no age. You're going to be teaching people in our community older than you about your wisdom and what you've learned along the way. So, is there anything else you'd like to add before we close our time today? It's just been such a pleasure talking with you. Any final words you'd like to share for people to know who is Isabella Britton?
I guess I'm just really excited to get started and to see where all this support and positive energy can take us. And I'm really excited for the future. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you join us. Thanks so much, Isabella. We'll look forward to the projects that we co-create together in our youth advisory leadership And by the way, we're building our network for other youth members to join in so we can co-create in a larger scale with leadership. So thanks for bringing your voice to it.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the space to bring my voice.
You're welcome.